on. So, you know what? We all know that we live in a very self-absorbed, self-oriented culture. We're obsessed with our individual rights to such an extent that sometimes I think we have forgotten how individual actions can negatively affect others. Most believe that what they do with their life is their business. This is my life, it's my business, it's none of your business, right? Most people believe that. Okay, so the question is that true? Is that even biblical? Is that how God sees it? Do my actions impact others around me? Should I be more aware how my actions and my attitudes influence others? So today's story helps answer some of those questions. So today, instead of talking about a hero, the last few weeks we've been talking about heroes, okay? Not perfect, but heroes. Today we get to learn from a zero. Huh? Right? Today we get to learn from a zero. And somebody who made some pretty serious mistakes. In fact, they were actually fatal mistakes. Now, his name was called Achan. Now, you may know nothing about this guy. You may know all about this guy because we all have different understandings of God's word. So if you've never heard the story before, that's great. And if you have, I'm sure you're going to hear it from a little bit different perspective, all right? Now, this takes place. The story, let me give you some context. It takes place in the book of Joshua. The book of Joshua is all about the children of Israel going in and conquering the promised land. There's been a change in leadership. Moses died. Joshua has taken over leadership of the nation of Israel, and now they begin to go into the promised land. Now, this is the very first city in the promised land. The story takes place where we start with the city of Jericho. Jericho is a walled city. It's the first city in the promised land. God said this to them. The very first city you take, Jericho, everything in that city is dedicated to me. You cannot take anything. You cannot take plunder. You cannot take money. You cannot take anything. You can't take a nickel. Everything is given to me. And I'm going to tell you now how to take that city. What I want you to do is I'm going to give you this crazy strategy. I want you to go and march around the city one time every day for 6 days. Now, how weird is that? You're just going to walk around it, and all those people on the inside the wall is going to be looking at you like, what are they doing? And then you're just going to go back to camp and, have a good time. And then on the seventh day, you're going to walk around it 7 times, and then you're going to blow the ram's horns, and you're going to shout really loud, and the walls are going to fall down flat, and you're going to run right in and take the city. And if you've read the story, that's exactly what happened. They experienced the supernatural power of God through obedience, because that's how God set it up. Nobody knew that there was one guy who just couldn't take the temptation, and he took something for himself. And Joshua 7:1, but Israel violated the instructions about the things set apart for the Lord. A man named Achan had stolen some of these dedicated things, so the Lord was angry with the Israelites. Now, this is really interesting. One man did something wrong. God now was upset with the whole group. Fascinating. Now, nobody knew. All was good. God showed up. So let's move on to the next battle. And so we go right into the next part of that story. After this great victory, there's this little town named Ai a few miles away. Let's go take the town of Ai. It's not very big. It's not a walled city like Jericho was. And they said, let's not even send very many people up there. Just send a few thousand. Don't make all the people toil up there. No big deal. We've got this. So they go attack this little town of Ai and get routed by them. It's like, what happened? 36 men lost their lives. They were completely dismayed. Like, oh, Lord, why have you left us? They cry out to God, asking why, after this great victory, they had this defeat, and God reveals to them, hey, there's sin in the camp. Somebody has taken something from Jericho, dedicated things that were given to me. Now, God didn't tell them who it was. There was a process. They cast lots. It's kind of like getting who gets the short straw. But there's 600,000 fighting men, maybe 3 million people. How do you find one guy? But they start taking lots. So who knows how long this took? I mean, they started with tribes and then family groups, and they just worked their way down to one man. What was Achan thinking as it got closer and closer and closer, right? We'll get to that part later. But he eventually got the short straw, right? Oh, it's you. It's you. And then they bring him to Joshua. Joshua 7, 19 through 21. Then Joshua said to Achan, my son, give glory to the Lord, the God of Israel, by telling the truth. Make your confession and tell me what you have done. Don't hide it from me. Achan replied, it's true. I've sinned against the Lord, the God of Israel. Among the plunder, I saw a beautiful robe from Babylon, 200 silver coins, a bar of gold weighing more than a pound. I wanted them so much that I took them. Then they're hidden in the ground beneath my tent with the silver buried deeper than the rest. And so they send someone to the tent and they find all the stuff and they bring it back. And then the harsh part of the story is that Achan and his whole family, they're taken out and they're executed. You're going, whoa, whoa. Yeah, it is kind of a serious story. The sin ultimately cost Achan and his family their lives. It is a sobering story about how the actions of one can negatively affect many. So, you're thinking, Pastor Dale, what are lessons for us in this? There certainly couldn't be a lot, is there? So here we go. You ready? Number one, deliberate sinful actions of one can affect the group. Can affect the group. Now, Achan knew this was sinful action. We've got to put this in context, folks. He knew everything in Jericho was given to God. He knew. He knew this would bring a curse upon Israel. It wasn't like Achan didn't understand what was going on. He did get the memo of what he was supposed to do. He wasn't confused about the instructions. This wasn't simply struggling with sin. It was a willful action, and there was an intentional attempt to conceal and cover it up. So again, we have to see this in the context of a larger story, because the story is about Israel, it's about the promised land, it's about God fulfilling a promise to give to the entire nation. All right, so here's this one little isolated story in the context of a larger story. Achan would have witnessed countless events, seeing how God operates with Israel. He knows how it works. He knows how the power and the presence of God works. He has seen God discipline Israel. He's seen God bless Israel. He knows. He's in full understanding here. And then so notice how God views his actions. Joshua 7, Israel has sinned and broken my covenant. Wait. It says Achan has sinned. Israel has sinned. They have stolen some of the things that I command must be set apart from me. They have not only stolen them, but they have lied about it, hidden the things among their own belongings. That is why the Israelites are running from their enemies in defeat. For now Israel itself has been set apart for destruction. I will not remain with you any longer unless you destroy the things among you that are set apart for destruction. That didn't belong to you, it belonged to me, and they took it, and now we have problems. A couple things about this. First of all, the private actions of one can affect the group spiritually. Because of Achan's actions, the entire nation of Israel was negatively impacted spiritually. They lost God's favor. They lost God's blessing upon their lives because of one individual. And some of you are already going, whoa, time out. That's not fair. This story exposes the lie of individualism. And folks, I'm telling you, it's a lie. The lie says that what I do with my life is nobody else's business. I can do whatever I want with my life. From a biblical truth perspective, that is a lie.